green with vision. For vision, more fine lace, you can still bring your stuff. Yeah. This big giant's talking New York with a skyline bleeds. Basketball dreams in the football seas. Got a mic in the hand and a vision that feeds. In the fantasy realms where the ghost dog leads. He's a shadow on the court and a phantom on the field. Timberland stomping, truth never concealed. Got my podcast lit, each story revealed. Talk Ryan legends and hoops that appeal.
Yes, oh yes, you know what time it is. Ghost Dog is over here. The young phenom is back at it again. Yes, 1/7 of the shakedown over here at Ghost Dog's Big Talk. You know what it is, man. If you are new to the tribe, make sure you hit subscribe. If you appreciate the way I spit on this mic, make sure to smash the like. Yeah, man, you know, a little bit of a, shall we say, low as we get ready for the draft here shortly in the next few weeks. About a month out now exactly, maybe, I want to say, right? Yeah. Today's the 23rd, so exactly a month away. But as the time clicks on, man, you know, certain stories are out there, whether it's the free agencies or players, you know, having their opinions on certain things. If you haven't checked out all the free agency moves that we've discussed over at The Shakedown with the DA, you can go check that out on some of my lives over here that we've been streaming lately, as well as go over to their main Shakedown channel. That's DA Shakedown 2.0. Go ahead and like and subscribe over there as well. You know, if you want to go look at some of the things we've discussed as far as free agency moves and whatnot, some good stuff out there, whether it's the, you know, Edmonds, the Moonies, the Rich Picard and all that, man. Just absolutely looks like, as far as free agency is concerned, we definitely are leading the pack in that category. Absolutely. But I'm on here today, man, and tonight, rather, just to go over like a little bit of a controversy we have going on over here with number 44, Cam Skattebo himself, man. Now, apparently, he was on a podcast the other day called Bring the Juice. And they asked him about specifically Frank Delena, right? Am I saying that right? Delena, right? Of Bring the Juice podcast. If he thought the brain disease stemming from repeated head injuries was real, also known as CTE. Pretty much asked him like, yo, do you think it's real? And Skattebo came out his mouth, right? And he flat out said, no, it's an excuse, right? And also he says something along the lines of saying that asthma is fake as well after the fact. And look, I'm gonna keep it a bando, man. Skattebo's a wild dude, bro. He is just wild, loud, just an absolute character. So a lot of the stuff that he says, you can take it with a grain of salt. There's a certain level of seriousness that I think that he displays when it's time to get serious, and that's usually when it's on the field, from what I've noticed. Now, I don't personally know the guy. Obviously, this is the outside looking on the in. However, man, he's just a bro, and he's just going to say nonsensical, foolish things to try to get a laugh out of people, because that's just, I feel like, who he is. So far, that's what he's displayed for me. And, you know, for the most part, if you're getting the laughs, it's funny. However, when you're not getting the laughs, that's when it becomes a problem. And unfortunately, when it comes to certain situations like a CTE or an asthma, people are going to take it a little too serious. And as far as the CTE is concerned, rightfully so. I mean, look, man, how many players have we known, you know, from like ages past that have had CTE issues that ended up, you know, unfortunately unaliving themselves in the junior Seiyos. And there's a lineman from the Steelers who, you know, my name is blanking on him, but, you know, he was a player in the 70s and the 80s, and he ended up taking his, you know, unaliving himself, And, you know, that's why that movie with Will Smith was even created, was because of all that stuff, you know, the revealing of it all and the medical knowledge behind it. So, and, you know, the Antonio Browns and all that too. People who are even alive today who are suffering from like those sorts of symptoms and all that stuff. So Was it a little like in jest? I think so, absolutely so. If anything, I'm going to put money on it that it was in jest. He actually came out and apologized and quote as saying, "I recently did an interview and had a lapse in judgment, which resulted in me making a tasteless joke about CTE and asthma." And as a matter of fact, his own mother actually commented, if I'm not mistaken, on Twitter, Becky, right, who battles asthma, and said the comments were meant in a joking manner. She herself said, "If only," and as she quoted, "if only people knew how many times Cam had to run and get mom's inhaler, they realize the sarcasm. You'll never make anyone happy, and you'll never say all the right things, and people are bound to spin something sooner or later in a direction it was never intended to go." Becky Skattebo wrote on Sunday on Twitter. I will never call X Twitter. X. It's just nonsense. It will always be Twitter. Just get that out there. But nevertheless, man, she came out herself, defended her son, as a mother should. On the flip side, again, it was in jest. I would lean in the direction of believing it was in jest. And I don't think it's that serious. I think a lot of people sometimes take things a little too serious, a little too personal. On the flip side, on Cam Skattebo's part, awareness. Absolutely, man, awareness. I have no problem with him being him. Always be him. Just, the media will always be watching. You are a celebrity, a star, an up-and-coming one over here in, New York for the Giants. So the monocle is always going to be, locked and zoned in on you, young man, unfortunately. And that goes for all the players out there for the Giants. The young ones, and the veterans should know what it is by now as well. So, man, I just think it's a little overblown. I appreciate the fact that he did come out and apologize. It shows some level of maturity and also of awareness, despite him not being aware in the moment. Again, man, he's a young dude. This is a simple mistake. I'm not worried about it. I'm happy that he's, on schedule as far as injuries concerned, from what I've been learning and reading and keeping up to date with. So, man, this is just something to talk about, I guess, something to chew the fat over in the meantime until the draft rolls along. But as I said in the beginning, man, if you're new to the tribe, make sure you hit subscribe. The Shakedown is back at it again, so go ahead and tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I'm saying? So, straight facts, man. Can't wait to keep making content for y'all, man. Make sure y'all go out and y'all hit the subscribe for all the channels. Again, DA Shakedown 2.0 over here, Ghost Dogs Big Talk as well. Shakes Media Entertainment. We got the Shakedown Shenanigans as well as Black Freezy TV. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Can't stress it enough. And as I always say around this time, man, I'm going to give y'all a big blue salute and peace.
From the shadows of MetLife to the mic's last track, Ghost Dog repping Big Blue, never looking back. Podcast sales, that's deep in the fog. Gridiron echoes follow the phantom dog. Jersey glows under moonless skies, fades with the beat, but never truly dies. He barks once loud, a New York anthem blast, that vanishes like stories from podcast past.
This is a Ghost Dog mixtape original.